Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. My name's Tracy, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how I've perfected the African Granny Square, or Granny Hexagon should I say. There have been tutorials on here for many years how to do this, and I've made a couple in my time and I've not been very happy with them for one reason or another, and so I decided to sit down and try and work out why. This was one of them, and as you can see in the corners you do a gap, and I find that this looks just a little bit too, and you have 6 stitches between your corners, which is a little bit too spaced out for me. Also, I preferred the centre being done with the magic ring. So then I did this one, and again I wasn't particularly, it was better, but I wasn't happy with it. So I did this one, and this one got better, but still wasn't absolutely right. So then I did this one, and we were on the right lines with it, but I wasn't really keen on the colours. So then I made this one last night and I liked it. So this is the one that I'm going to go with. Now, I did choose these colours, and I thought they looked a little bit gloomy. Because it's an African violet, they do have yellow centres, so I thought I would do it in true African violet colours. Now, they're not showing true to colour on here because this green is actually quite vivid, but it's not showing up that way. And this is a really deep purple and a nice bright yellow. But you can use whatever colours you want. I just thought it'd be nice to, as it's an African violet, to make it an African violet. Now, I did this one with a chain centre so that you would see the difference, but the one I'm going to make, I'm going to do with a magic loop. But you can do either. For this centre, I just did 5 chain. Because it's got quite a lot going into it, you can do 4, but I just thought it would be nice to have 5 chain because, you know, there is quite a bit going into the centre. You've got 6 different parts. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll be informed when there are new videos. And I've not been feeling very well, so I've not been doing many tutorials this last few days, and I have got a few to catch up with. So this is me getting back in the swing. So I've got a drink of water should I need it. Now I'm going to be using some scrap yarn today because I've got rather a lot of it. And this is just DK yarn, all different types. This was left over from my Rainbow Rocks blanket. So I've got yellow for the centre, and I've got this lovely purple for the violet itself. I've got various shades of mauve and purple, but this one is my favourite. Now this is a vivid green, and it doesn't really look like it. It looks a bit of a dull jade, but it's not. And I'm going to edge it in white. Because edging it in the same colour as the centre just made it a little bit gloomy looking. So, right, 4.5mm crochet hook I'm using, and I'm using a Susan Bates hook because at the moment I'm trialling these. My couple of subscribers sent me a couple of packs of them, which is lovely of them, and I had this one anyway. So I'm using them all the time at the moment just so that I can review them really. And so I'm going to be using a 4.5. I've got a pair of scissors. These are my favourite new ones with a little unicorn on. And you need a darning needle, which is in my box, because if I get it out now, you know what will happen. I'll probably drop it on the floor and not find it. So I'm going to actually use my specs to see what I'm doing. Right, so going to start with the yellow. So what we're going to do, move all this out of the way. Oh, going the wrong end. So to make a magic loop, I do mine in a very easy way. We don't go around fingers or anything like that. It's ever so easy. You just make a loop, and then you put your hook in to that loop and bring the yarn through, and you've done it. That's it, nothing else. So now what we need to do is chain 2 to get up to the height of our stitch. And if you want to make this a little smaller, you can, just to keep more control over it, and I like to hold on to it. Now this centre part is made up of 6 pairs of treble crochet. Now that's a UK term. Treble crochet in the UK is a double crochet in the US. So we need 6 pairs, and these 2 chain count as our first. So we're going to do one more. yarn over into the center of that loop, yarn over and pull up. So we've got 3 on our hook, yarn over and pull through 2 of them, yarn over and pull through the other 2. Now that's a treble crochet in the UK or a double in the US. And now we do 1 chain, and now we're going to do another pair of treble crochets. It's yarn over into the center, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. So I'm going to do another 1 and 1 chain, and I'm going to keep doing that until I've got 6 pairs. And if you have to pull on this to make it smaller, as long as you're going over this yarn and the tail, the magic loop works fine. So just keep going, 2 and a chain until we've got 6 pairs. I need 2 more. 2 more pairs, that is. And when you've finished, don't end with your chain. I'm going to show you how we seamlessly join. So there we are, and we can pull that tight and closed, or we can just leave it to the end. It doesn't really matter. So now I'm going to change colour to that lovely purple. And because I'm going to show you how to seamlessly join, even beginners can do that. That's no, it's not that difficult. And I'm going to join this together with a half treble in the UK, which is a half double in the US. So you yarn over. Now this being our 2 chain, I'm going to try and go through the 2 loops as if it were a normal stitch. You don't have to, but it's a little tiny bit cleaner if you do. So I've got 3 on the hook, and put that down, snip off the yellow. Now we don't need that anymore, so I'm just going to grab that so I don't tangle it all up. Put it to one side, and I'm going to get the purple. So pull out some purple. And pull out quite a bit of purple. Okay, so I finished that stitch off in the purple. So I hold on to this with that finger at the back there. Get off. You can see, sorry, knocking it. Just hold on to it. And then I hold this one. Then I hold it with this finger, all of it, and pull it through so it doesn't go all baggy. Now I know there is at least one person who doesn't like me doing this, but this is how I do my joins. I just make a little secure 1 knot, because I've had a few come open on me, and doesn't matter how long I leave my tail, it's happened, and it never happened again. So that's how we do a seamless join. Now if I were to carry on and make my 2 treble and do my next row, it wouldn't look like this. There would be one where I've made that join, which you can't see where it is. You can't see which is the one that started it all off, but I've got a feeling it's here because that's where my end is. You would have a little piece of yellow just going across this stitch. I don't like that, so what I do to get rid of that is, here we go, now just make a very small chain, not a big baggy one, and this is our gap that we're working in, and I just insert my hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. So now I've just got to, bear with me a second, just got to wipe my hook because it's squeaking. I can't be doing with that. Right, so sorry about that. So I've gone in and I've pulled up a loop. So now I'm going to do 2 chain, 1, 2. And now that is my first stitch. Now what I'm going to do, I'm sorry to keep bringing this one back, is I'm showing you now, I'm going to just do half of one of my petals, are they petals? Yeah, they're petals. Got it right. So I'm just going to do this half of one of the petals for now. So that counts as my first stitch. Now I do another one into the same space, and that's my other. Now I go to the next gap, so my next chain space, which is there, and I'm going to yarn over and do a treble. I'm going to do a pair of them, so 2 treble, 1 chain, then 2 more. Remember, that's a double crochet in the US. So I'm doing 2 more. So each chain space, apart from this first one, which has only got half, will now have 2, if I can see it, here we are, we'll now have 2, 1 chain followed by 2 in each of those gaps all the way around. So that's the start of our petals. So we do 2, 1 chain and 2. And again, these hooks, I will say, they don't do that when I'm not showing you on a tutorial. It's because I'm not sitting properly or holding my work properly. But normally speaking, this does not slip off when I'm using them to crochet with, only when I'm doing a tutorial, because there is a camera in the way and a little gimbal tripod thing. And because that's in the way, I'm not holding it in the right way. So I thought that's why they slip off. So there we are, near enough back while I babble on, talking about nothing. And this is my last full one, and I'm back to my half. Now what we do now is 2 treble in that gap to complete that half, but we're not going to join it in exactly the same way that we did just now, because we don't need the gap to be quite so big. If we were to join it with a half treble, we would be in dead center. So I need to kind of be more over this side. So I'm going to join it by going into that top chain and doing a double crochet in the UK or a single crochet in the US. And it's still a gap, but it's nowhere near as big. And when I do my next part, it doesn't show that I'm kind of too far over, if you catch my drift. So now I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to do 6 more treble crochets in that gap, that same space in between. So it's what would be in all of the others the chain space. So here I'm going to, that's 2. So I need 7, and obviously the 2 chain that would count as the first one. That didn't go according to plan. What's that? Can undo that. The yarn split on me, or was it an end? Don't know. Get rid of it though. So that's the 3rd one now again. Need to pull out some yarn, excuse me. It's a good stash buster, good yarn stash buster this. And I've lost count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See what I mean? It only happens while I'm doing this. I don't find it happens when I'm crocheting. So there we are. We've got 7 in between our 2 spaces. You can just about see that, but that will close. So there we are. We're going to do 7 in each of our chain spaces around our petals. So in between our 2s, we're going to do 7. There we go. 7 in each and no chain in between them. Just carry on. Do the next 7. Just like that. And that's how it's starting to look. 7 in each one. Okay, so I'm just going to pause the video while I do my last 2 otherwise it'd be a little bit boring for you. And if I've gone ahead, you can just pause me and catch up. Okay, so I am now all the way round, and I need to join to my first 2 chain, which is here, and join my next colour, which is the green. So just going to snip off and pick up my purple, so don't tangle it up, move it out of the way, and get the green. Of course you can use any colours you wish. I'm just trying to make it look like an African Violet really. So in the top of our chain we insert the hook, because we're going to join with just a normal slip stitch this time. So there's the top chain, insert the hook, hold on to this so it doesn't get all baggy, pick up the green, leave a nice big tail, sewing in, and just finish off there. Now with this one, I'm still going to make my little knot. The only thing with all these kind of squares and hexagons and things is the ends that you get to sew in afterwards, which it's okay if you can go over some. I'm going to do that nice and loose, and the reason for that is I need to go into the same stitch that I've just come out of, because there is 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we need to go into this one so that we still have 7. So you need to like try and fiddle it in. It's not really going to let me do it. So bear with me a second. I don't want to like pull that out. Just see it. There it is. So we go in, and I'm going to work over the tail this time. Just hold on to it. 1. I'm going to pull it a little bit so it's not that bulge. You won't see it. So then what we're going to do now is we're going to do 1 double crochet in each of our stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is our 7th. So we're going to go into the next one. It's only the first one where you have to really try and see it, because you've just slip stitched into it. Now it will curl in just a little bit. Don't worry about that. It's because we're doing another round and we're not increasing, but it's okay. Don't worry about that. So this is our last one. This is our 7th. We've now got 7. Now this is slightly different. We're going to go not into this one here. We're going to go into this one here. So we're going to drop down. I'm going to cut that off just because it's going to get in the way and confuse us. Let's get rid of that. Okay, ignore all the others. There's lots. So we're going to go in, but it's the only green one, and we're going to pull up a loop, but we're going to pull it up so that it doesn't, if we don't pull it up, then we'll get a dip down like that, and we don't want that too much, because otherwise it will look odd. So now we need to pull it aside, because this is our next stitch here. You see it? Right there. So we need to go into that one, and then into this. So that's the first of our 7. Ooh. It's really difficult holding it like this. It is annoying when it slips out. Okay, so again we're going to go into this one. Whenever we get to the end, we're going to drop down here, bring up our loop, but pull it up, and then finish our stitch. Pull it aside, make sure we go into this one. I think I only went into half of it, there we go. We're going to do that all the way around. No, that's split. Don't want split in. Last one for that petal. Go into this one, not that one, but this one. Pull it all the way up. No matter if it's elongated stitch, because it's making our petal. Pull it aside. Make sure you go into that one. And that's our last one of the 7. Almost round, so I'll stay with you. And pull up. Pull that one aside. Make sure you go into that one. Seventh. Okay, go in, pull it up, get some yarn, pull it aside, we've got 2 more left, last one. But we mustn't forget to go into this one and pull up before we join. Just slip stitch into there to join, and this time we are going to end off that colour. Just pull it, and how I'll end off is I always do a chain, cinch it right down and then pull it through. So now we end off that completely because we're going to join into a corner now, and that's where I want my join to be. So I'm going to get my white because that's my edging colour. You join any corner that you want. And the corner is the centre of our 7. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be, there'd be 4 this way and 4 that way. Sorry, 3 that way and 3 that way. 4th one in the centre. So we just join our yarn, and I normally join just like that. And now what we're going to do is a half treble. So half double in the US. So it's yarn over, don't matter that there's an extra loop on the hook for the first one, into the same stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. And I'm running a temperature, so I need to wipe my hook because it's a bit squeaky. Yarn over, into the same stitch, that's 2, yarn over, into the same stitch, that's 3. So just bear with me a second while I give it a wipe. Because I hate squeaky. It's not good. I need to blow my nose, sorry. Sorry about that. You'll be glad I paused it. It was a bit of a trumpet. So now we're going to do 7 along our side. And it does dip down a little bit, but I find that with this doing a half treble, it kind of evens out a little bit. Whether I consciously make these ones here looser or not, I don't know, but it seems to even out. So here we go. We just need to do 7 along the side, one in each stitch. And I'm going over the tail as I go. 1 less is always a good thing. Don't forget to go into that one, because as I showed you on some of the ones that I did previously, quite a lot of them only had 6 along the side, and it left this bit. And I don't know, didn't like the fact that there was a hole. So we need 7. So that's 4. Maybe that extra one as well helps make it so that it doesn't dip down. So there we are. Now we're back at the centre again. So we're going to, I'm just going to lose that tail now. We're going to do 3 in our centre. And then we're going to do another 7. And we're going to repeat that all the way round. 7 in between, 3 and then 7. And then all the way back to the start. Now this one always looks a little bit difficult because of this. So just make sure that's 4. So where are we? 1, 2, 3. That's our corner. So we've done 4. So we need this one. 5. It just makes it odd looking because of that ending off. 6 and 7. So always, if you're in any doubt, count back. Just count back from the end stitch, and then you know you're going in the right place. I'm going over that tail now. Whether I should be or not is another matter. We'll soon find out. That's cool, got rid of that. Now we're going to do 7 along our side. This one looks fine. It's only the join that was a little bit awkward. But as I say, if you ever get confused, 1, 2, 3, that's our corner. So we just need to go into the next 3. Is that right? Yeah. So I'm going to pause this and I will catch up with you when we get all the way round. I don't think you need to see me go into each of these, but just remember into the 4th one, and if it's easy just to count back, ignore this one, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. If you wanted to, if you were worried, you could put a little stitch marker in each one so you know, and that way, but it's easy to count back your 7th. Just ignore this long one. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you are. So I'll carry on and I'll meet you back at the start. Okay, so I've made it all the way back, and all I need to do now is to slip stitch into my first stitch and end off, and then cinch that down, and then just kind of give it a little shape. And you don't really need to do very much with it, which is good. And see what I mean about the half treble, half double? It kind of pulls does actually give it good shape. It's not really, you can block it if you want to, but I don't really think it needs it. And there we go. So now I've got 2. And then all we've got to do is tackle the spaghetti. Oh, and this one, you need to make sure if you pull it tight that you really secure that by going round a couple. I go one way and then I sew it back the other way. Or you can always make a little knot on itself if you really want to, if you're worried about your centre coming open. But you can either make it with the hole in the middle, and it'll look like this, or without. So if you preferred the hole, you just tease it so that there is one. You see that it starts to come open, and you can have it if you want or not. You can even put this in. Just, there we are, just make a hole. If you'd rather have the hole, you can still do that, but I kind of like it closed myself. But that's it. Thank you very much for watching. And if, as I said, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you could like and share my video, it would help me grow my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, bye for now, everyone.